Do you think KD's going to be the best player in the Eastern Conference this season?
Absolutely. Yeah, I have no question about it. Any questions that I had about the Achilles injury have been answered in this preseason. He's getting around people, driving baseline, making plays. And, of course, his shooting's not going to go away. Though his explosiveness is an important part of the game, it's not, like, key to his game, and it doesn't seem like he's lost that much. I think he is the best player in the East, in part because he was able to take his time on his recovery. He had about a year and a half, 560 days between games with his injury. That's not something that most players are afforded. That's almost as long as when Jordan went away to play baseball. So I think that KD will come back. He'll be the best player in the Eastern Conference, and I expect the Nets to be really good because of it. And I'm not concerned about, I understand how great Giannis is. There are plenty of great players in the East, but nobody over there has the skill set that KD has, and I would be surprised if he doesn't turn out to be the best player over there by season's end. And I know I'm right, so I don't even have to talk to Max or Perk. I got this one right. Molly, next topic.
Well, you heard the man. I guess we're nothing to debate. Look, if this argument was who had the best, most well-rounded skill set, KD obviously has the most well-rounded skill set at his size. It's absurd. That's not really the argument. We're just saying the best. And if KD were at his best, if we knew that for sure, because with injuries like this, particularly as players age, I don't think you could just take a snapshot and say, no, he's the same guy. You have to see how it progresses over the season. I'm not going to do that to KD. Like, it seems like, oh, you're being hard on KD. I'm not assuming that he's going to come back at 100% from an injury that almost no one who ever lived has come back at 100%. In fact, I was interested because I kept saying, if KD comes back as some lesser version of himself, but still an approximation, and he's like Paul George, right? Then you think of that team differently. And so I looked it up. I actually looked the analytics up, Perk. How do you like that? And it turns out that if KD decreases as a player, on average, if he just does the average decrease after this injury, you know who he winds up as in terms of value as a player? Paul George, in fact. It's actually a good comparison. That's not better than Giannis. But, guys, even if he was KD as KD, he and Giannis is a good debate. Giannis is back-to-back MVP for a reason. This man in 30 minutes a game just averaged, 30 minutes a game, just averaged, I'm rounding up, but almost 30, 14, and 6 with a steal and a block, and he plays defense in 30 minutes a game. And his teams are powerhouses in the regular season. Now, the difference between them is Giannis is a big. He shoots 30% from 3, which ain't so bad. He takes 4 or 5 of them a game. You know, it's not like he's Ben Simmons, but he really is a big. And when it gets tight, he plays like a big. And KD has those guard skills differently. So that does in the playoffs play differently.
You just filibustering now. You just wasting time.
It was close. It was close before the injury. I'm not going to assume that KD is going to be the same, and any edge that goes to Giannis means he's the better player.
Max, you are really tripping. You are really, really tripping right now. It's not even close, man. It's not even up for debate. Like Dominique said, if you watch preseason, if you watch this last preseason game against the Boston Celtics, and you sitting up here telling me with your eyes that you watched Kevin Durant and you're saying that he wasn't healthy, you're fooling yourself, and shame on you. Shame on you. Because here it is. I keep hearing all this about, oh, yeah, Giannis is a better defender. He sits down and guard. No, he don't. Giannis don't guard nobody. He just he's a chase down block type guy. He protects the basket. Before sitting down and getting low and sitting in the trenches, he's not guarding nobody. And everybody around the league knows that. I watched Giannis last year in the bubble. He ran from James Harden. He ran from Luka. KD is an underrated defender. He defends his tail off, and no one gives him credit for it. Forget that he's the most skilled offensive player I've ever seen. It's nothing that he could do offensively. He has zero flaws. He's a better facilitator than Giannis. He can rebound at a high level. He shoots a high percentage than Giannis around the basket, at the free throw line, mid-range, three-point shooting, you name it. Kevin Durant will be the best player in the Eastern Conference, and it's not even up for debate. The man is back. The man is
up
healthy.
for debate.
He had more. No, it's not up for debate, Max, because you want to go to the analytics.
Look.
You want to go to the analytics, and the analytics will say, oh, yeah, Giannis with a PER, man, and this, that, and the other. He give you 30 points and he do this. Then why they had to
Giannis
acquire
also
Jrue
makes his
Holiday?
team.
Because
Giannis also elevates team. But you
No,
want him to
don't.
do it by himself?
No, he don't.
You want Giannis to do it by himself?
No, he don't.
Let me ask you something. Hey, Perk, let me ask you
You
something.
don't,
KD was on a team.
You get fooled.
KD was on a team with Westbrook and a whole lot of talent. Did they win the chip or did they lose in Golden State? Then he joined the Golden State Warriors 73-win team. They couldn't lose. They fixed it so they couldn't lose. They added an MVP to the Warriors.
KD,
they couldn't lose.
Stop it.
Giannis has never been on a team like that. Put Giannis on a team like that.
KD, yeah, put Giannis in the Western Conference and see how far he get. He still can't get out of the Eastern Conference.
With Steph and Clay and Dre?
At least KD went to the finals without Steph and Clay. KD do have that on his resume, am I right?
So,
and by the way, people
With
really
Westbrook and Ibaka and Adams. Yeah.
Oh, my God. Adams was not on that team, Max. Thank you. But here it is. Everyone keeps saying about how Kevin Durant, he went join the Warriors. But the Warriors went recruited Kevin Durant because they knew if they couldn't get KD, that the Warriors wouldn't have won those other 2 championships and that their window was closed, Max. Kevin Durant is the best player, will be the best player in the Eastern Conference. Go ahead, Dominique.
Hold on, Perk. You're really sitting there.
High.
You're really sitting there. You're really sitting there and talking about why Giannis needed Jrue Holiday. Can the man can't have one dude who can go get his own shot and score under pressure? KD has Westbrook as his second best player, and Giannis not allowed to have anyone?
But Max,
you done blew it, Max. When you started trying to you try to discredit KD about his championships, like that's when you blew it. I understand talking about the Achilles. That's a reasonable argument to make. Though I don't agree with you, that's a reasonable argument to make. To try to make it seem like KD is less than we think he is because he played with some great players is nonsense.